Welcome! Welcome to today's video. I'm currently in the middle of a project that is going to take me quite some time. So I decided, what if I show you everything that I worked on this year so far and what I've learned from it, what I could have done better, to give you an idea of like what my style is, what I'm about, and then also to go over like all my mistakes and productivity because, you know, taking this very seriously. Anyway, I just wanted to do it for fun because it's fun to see what people's journey has been. So let me tell you what I made this year, currently 2024. As you can see, the color palette was definitely very limited. We have gingham moment, some black, of course, because favorite color, one floral print, some red, my other favorite color of the year, yellow, pale yellow, which I love with the red together. Something about the pale yellow and the red just looks really nice. A little shot of cream and also emerald green. Let's get into today's video. Okay, so this first one was this Vicky So's Rosalind dress. I had a decent time executing this pattern, but she does have so many instructions, so you really have to be paying attention. There's so many details that you could miss. Other than that, a big fan of Vicky So's patterns because she's a great way to learn how to do so many new constructions that you can't really necessarily think starting your sewing journey. So she is always going to be a good challenge. So she will always have the utmost amounts of steps to make this garment look as nice and tailored as possible, but with a strenuous journey. But I do think she's worth it. But of course, because of the procrastinator I am, I did finish it the day of the event I needed to go to. Never a good idea. Just did this the other day. Don't procrastinate to the last minute. Also, sometimes that produces my best work. Sometimes it doesn't. What are we gonna do?
Next, we have this cream vest. I feel like vests have been the top of the year. Like we found ways to just keep reinventing the vest this year, and I really have been liking them as my top choice for a top. My top choice top. I made 2 of them this year, added something to my wardrobe that I've really liked, and they are a nice beginner starting sewing project that you can do. For this project, I used a pattern that I got on Etsy, and you'll see later I have like a little sister one that I did in black. And I also am thinking maybe I should make another one. I don't know, I need to be stopped. I'm making so many vest tops. I made it also a vest last year. So I have a V-neck vest, a halter vest, and I have a high neck vest, which is this one that I made here. Now, I would say that this one didn't have any issues, but it did. Not the sewing. The sewing was great, super easy. Like I said, great beginner project to start with. The only problem that I had with this guy was my own fault. I forgot to test my tailor's chalk when I was marking my buttons, which was sad. Sad. But I made it work. So basically, the tailor's chalk left a mark on there. I tried everything under the sun to get it out, and nothing worked. But the worst of it was where the buttons were, and the buttonholes go over, and the buttons are pretty chunky. You can't see it that much when I'm wearing it. Whatever, lessons learned. Basically, test your tailor's chalk, test your tools before you put them on your fabric, because every fabric is different and every fabric absorbs it differently. And that is my lesson learned from this one. Add that to the list. Have you guys been making vests? Have you been into vests? I have been wearing so many vests. Vests are best. Next, I was trying to participate in the trend of the boxer shorts. I really latched onto this one, as did a lot of the girls that I work with. Who doesn't want to be comfortable in cute, lightweight, pull-on shorts? You know, I was super into it. So basically, I took this pattern and it was originally a pant pattern that I took that pattern and just made it into a short. And it worked out perfectly. I was like, look at that. It's easy. I put a nice little 1-inch hem on there. And this is the one where I was like, A, I can make this at home, and B, they're cute. Okay, the pants are called the Mara Summer Pants. Love those. My fabric is pilling a little bit, which is just a bummer on my end, but I wear them all the time. And they were just a nice, easy thing to make trend-wise, and also feel a little hit of dopamine, you know? Next one I didn't actually sew, but I wanted to include it because it's just something fun that I liked doing. But actually, this is a dress from work and I dyed it. Anyone else ever feel like dyeing? Well, let's do that. Yellow, and it kind of gave it a new life. I can only handle so many white dresses. I'm just not a white dress fan. I feel just wear a white dress, I feel like it's some type of bridal situation. So I decided to dye yellow, and I wanted to include it in this because it was something that I did, and I made a little TikTok on it, and it was cute. Next, my star gem of the year so far. She's incredible. She's my favorite. We don't choose favorites, but we choose favorites. You know, she is my little baby.
I was really inspired / I wanted this Mirror Palais dress, and I saw it in this white beautiful cotton voile, and it was so pretty, and I fell in love with her instantly. I loved like the little boat neck. It's a dropped waist, full circle skirt, just like big, so much volume, and all the little details of like all the little baby buttons, the princess seams, the boat neck, the dropped waist, like all of it is like everything that has been like, I've been really gravitating towards this year. So I really love her. She's my favorite. She turned out great. So I got the fabric from Joann's. It's just like a stretch cotton sateen. It's kind of heavy. And I think it does add some structure to it. The pattern that I actually used a vintage pattern. I'll show you the one that I used here. And honestly, I just used it because I was being too scared still to just make my block. And now that I've made my block, I probably just could have started from there. And I did a little TikTok series on it too. And I modified it starting from that pattern and made it into the little mini dress. And she came out great. And I'm so happy about her. And that's actually kind of the project that pushed me into thinking that I can really just make my blocks and start going from there. And so this dress is my confidence booster dress. She started it all. Then I found these like cute little vintage buttons. I did like on a vintage button spiral. Seriously. I have so many vintage buttons now. I have this place nearby me that sells a lot of notions and trims and donated things that people have had. So sometimes you get some things in there that are like vintage and really old and really interesting. And sometimes I go to Etsy and I look for things on there that are like dead stock. And I really love that. So that's been kind of my new flair that I've been bringing to the year, is adding fun trims. And I've been really into funky gold buttons, and I stand by that decision. Next, I decided again to dabble in some basics. What I've been trying to do is exploring how can I make like some knit stuff that's easy. I can do it on my sewing machine. How can I accomplish making things look like I'm just trying to make like basics at home that like normally I like don't gravitate towards because they kind of scare me. Oh my god, I just realized I forgot something. So yeah, the thread tank top, she was really nice. The pattern I got was a free pattern that I got from Issa in Stitches. She's another YouTuber. I really like how she is able to explain things and very calming as a person who's very chaotic in their mind. So I needed her to slow me down a little bit. But it was good. I used my regular sewing machine and I just used like a zigzag stitch, and I also used a straight stitch the entire time. Learned how to use like fusible tapes that had some stretch in it to like not stretch out the necklines. And also that I was able to make a tank top, because the world's simplest thing that you think that you could make, and it's actually not that easy. So the next one I did was this beautiful halter dress that is in this gorgeous floral print. I got this really beautiful fabric on Etsy, but I love the fabric so much. But I use a rayon crepe, and for some reason every time I decide to sew with them, and they just like tend to like keep growing, have like this bagging out situation. And I've tried doing it on bias, I've tried not doing it on bias. Every time I'm just not good at it. So either I don't know what I'm doing or I need to like experiment a little bit more, maybe with some tearaway, maybe with some stabilizers that I haven't quite gotten into yet as a home sewer. Does anyone have any suggestions for sewing rayon crepe at home? It just really drives me insane. And I do have actually one dress that I successfully made with a rayon crepe, and it looks really beautiful and really nice. It wasn't a straight grain. That's probably what helped it. But for some reason, every other time I do it, it's just not good. So anyone with any tips on how to sew rayon crepe nicer, let me know. Rayon crepe nicer, let me know, because it's just not working for me. Next is my other favorite. I have 3 favorites, okay? So this is definitely one of them. She is sister to the cream high neck vest that I made in the beginning, and it's the exact same pattern. One's just a halter with princess seams, and that one was a crew neck princess seams, and I love her. She turned out great. Pattern's so easy to sew. Again, I really recommend like maybe getting this pattern and trying to sew something. It's really easy. You get to learn a lot as far as if you're a beginning sewer. It's just like princess seams, lining it, putting on buttons, and those are all kind of like the nice basics to start off with, you know, like when constructing a garment, and I really like that. So really easy, didn't take me long, and I got to use these beautiful buttons. I really love trying to add some other personality into that. And I had them in my stash, and I got them from that place that I had talked about earlier, and these were gorgeous, and they reminded me of Schiaparelli, of this collection that I loved, and it was just like the perfect button for this, and it was like the vibe I was going for, of just regal. It just like reminds me of like ridiculous 80s, like 80s bold, huge buttons and things going on, and just like kind of weird, but like fun and gorgeous. Very Versace, Schiaparelli, like, you know, like that's the vibe. So yeah, I'm really into apparently bold gold buttons. Bold gold buttons. That was my vibe the entire year. This has a lot of other hardware on it. Did a different button that I put on the back. She's a little chaotic, but I love it. Then I also got these thrifted little D-rings on the back that I had in my stash from the same place. It was just something I was like itching to like make something new, and I was like, I know I'm gonna wear this a million times, so let's use something practical and not go crazy, and I made that. Love her, gonna get some great use out of her this upcoming season for fall. The next one is this gorgeous, beautiful black lace long sleeve top with a cute little bust detail, and this is inspired slash from Orson Iris. Gorgeous piece. It's out of my price range, so I decided to skip, as I should have to be responsible, and I decided I can make it myself. It's kind of like lighter weight. I think my kitty's dreaming. Came to me one day and I was like, I need to make this top this year in lace. I had this 1 yard of fabric that was going to be thrown away at work, like a bulk sample. And usually, like after a certain point, we get rid of those things or we donate them. I have to take this with me. It's 1 yard. I'm going to make it work. So I ended up salvaging and making it into this beautiful top. I do think that I will be adding a nice finished detail to the neckline. I decided to leave it raw when I had done it, but I actually think that it would look nicer with like a nice like little black elastic scalloped trim around the edge of the neck, or maybe just like a easy like stretch lace trim, something like that. So I think I'm gonna add that to that soon.
As through my journey of making all these basics, I decided, why don't I try making a basic long sleeve top? Just something easy. I had some like leftover heather gray jersey that I got from that dead stock place. Still haven't quite figured out how to finish knits without doubling them and then clean finishing them and doing like the whole burrito method. So I'm really gonna have to keep going with attempting to try to hem and finish my knits on my regular sewing machine and my serger. I don't know. I'm still figuring out that part, so if anyone has any tips. I haven't quite graduated to doing hems on knits, but I will get there eventually. But for now, they're just gonna roll. We're just gonna let it roll. Rolling with the homies. Oh, R.I.P. Brittany Murphy. We loved you. I got the pattern from Moretta Thread. I changed the length of it a little bit to make it a little longer. I cut the neckline differently. It originally comes as a crew neck, and I decided to make it a boat neck because, again, obsessed with boat necks this year. Next, then the final two that I have is, like everyone, I was obsessed with gingham. Everything just looks so young and fresh. You could dress it up, you could dress it down. I'm really into gingham. Still, it also like kind of goes back to a brand that I've really been liking, which is Doan. Doan just has like this whimsicalness. It feels very like Little House on the Prairie meets Modern Girl, and I like that. It just brought youth and freshness. I've been actually really wanting to remake a top that they have, but instead I chose some different items. The first one, this was a part of a series where I was trying to start off my summer sewing in springtime so I could finish it to wear it in summer, right? As one planner does as a home sewist, you know, making it off season so that you can wear it in season. We all try to do this. It doesn't always work out. So I got this gingham fabric offline, black and white gingham. It's 100% linen. The linen is honestly kind of hard to work with because of the way that it was like torquing a little bit. So you had to like kind of make the best of it while cutting and matching the lines, which is quite difficult, but I did a decent job. Okay. First things first, I got a vintage pattern off of Etsy from the early 2000s. It's this cute little V-neck, long mat. You could do a maxi or a midi, but it's like paneled and it's a haltered A-line maxi dress. The reason why I liked it is because it had options. Well, obviously you can put this on anything, but I liked that I saw that it had like those cute little mini shank buttons all the way down that you could put on there as a feature. And for some reason, I was really obsessed with millions of buttons because it's just so cute and dainty. So anyway, as per usual, I started off with the proto sample. Always make a proto sample. Don't go straight in. If you have to learn any lesson from me, in my career we make 3 samples to make a sample. Hopefully in a fabric that is close to the fabric that you're going to be using in your final product. Anyway, made a proto sample. She looked good, but I have been getting my invisible zipper practice this year. Let me tell you. I've been invisible zipper after invisible zipper after invisible zipper. Do you think I've learned anything? Yes. Have I gotten better at it? Not really. But maybe I'm just being harsh on myself because it's probably not that bad. But anyway, considering I cut myself while seam ripping a zipper out in the first dress, I'm thinking that I probably still need some back to the gingham. So I was really like just wanting something like kind of like Pretty Woman, like when she goes to the horse races, which whatever, in her like little polka dot dress. I just like wanted something like that. It was just like casual but dressed up, nice summer linen dress. That's a lot of words. But yeah, I was like going on a trip to the wineries and I really wanted to like make some dresses that I could wear to the winery and just feel like I'm running through a field. You know, that feeling? You just want to run through a field. I was gonna make a Taylor Swift reference, but I won't do that right now. It was super lightweight, nice to wear. I didn't really make any too many mistakes on this, but I should have like at least like gave it like a shelf bra or something would have been nice in it because it's kind of an awkward piece in general to wear a bra with, but whatever, I'll go with it. I decided I was going to add buttons again. Who is shocked? That has been my thing, just buttons, buttons, buttons. So this is another thing that I got off of Etsy. These dead stock vintage buttons that had like a little gold rimmed pearl buttons that are like little like rectangles. And they're just cute. They added like a little, it still is casual, but it added a little like I could dress it up depending on what shoe I'm wearing. When I wore it to the winery, I just wore it with like a cream shoe with a gold buckle on it. So kind of went back to the buttons that I had on there. And she looked cute and I liked her. And I did wear her a lot this summer. So she accomplished her goal of being a new, beautiful summer dress. And then with that, I actually had leftover fabric. So I was like, well, let's make something else. So the next one. The next one is again inspired by Doan. They just had so many cute things. I decided, well, I've been wanting a little midi skirt. I've been really into midi skirts this year. I've also been really into skirts in general. When I've never been that big of a skirt person, I've always been like dresses, pants, and shorts, no skirts. So I've had a awakening to skirts this year. And what really has been catching my eye is like a basque waist and a dropped waist. So I was like, well, with this leftover fabric, why don't I try to recreate this Doan look and make like a cute little dropped waist little gingham skirt? So I did that. So she was cute. She was a super quick. I had everything. I had elastic on hand. I had the leftover gingham fabric. It was just enough to cut this skirt. I used a vintage pattern again that I already had. But honestly, I probably didn't even need it. I could have just made it myself, but I wasn't confident again yet. So here we are again. I had this like random, really old Zara top from like 2010 that just happened to be black and white gingham. And so I've been wearing it together and they look like a little set. It's so cute. And I tricked everyone and everyone thought it was a set. I was trying to make things that I already had work with new things that I had. I accomplished that. She was a really easy sew. All I had to do was gather, join it with the yoke, and put on the elastic and hem it. Like it was so easy. Well, it makes sense that it was easy because the pattern literally says fast and easy. So I'm actually in the process of trying to make my friend one as a gift. So I think when I do make her one, I'm going to make another one for myself and add a little more detail to it when it comes to like just adding a little flair. Maybe I'm gonna add like a little lace trim or I'll add some pin tucks and a little lace trim. I'm kind of like getting some ideas going. But then if I do that, it kind of starts to look a little like going to hoedown. And I don't know if that's the look I'm going for, but I do like red gingham with white lace. So possibly, what if I did the black and white gingham with black lace? I don't know. We'll see. Just had a nice to like change it up. You could always take off the trim later, like you know how to sew, you can do anything with your clothing alterations. Add a little pizzazz. So yeah, my goal is I need to make another one of these skirts because I like them and I enjoy them. I love just like throwing on something that has elastic, but like that doesn't look dumpy. I think that's what we all want. Give the people what they want. So that is a list of everything I made this year. I think I've learned quite a few things this year, and that is patience. Always test to make sure your markers and tailor's chalks, and think about your closures. I think is the third thing. I think that my biggest lesson on my beautiful boat neck red dress is that I wish I added a zipper, and that was my bad. I don't know why I didn't think about it in the moment, but that would have been so much easier. Those are my top 3 lessons so far for the year for sewing. This is my 3rd year of sewing. Is it? I'm gonna go. It's my 3rd year of sewing. Yeah, and I will continue to keep learning. Because it's one thing at work for me to tell somebody how to sew something, it's another thing for me to do it myself. Let me know what your favorites were. Were they the same as my favorites? With that, thanks for watching, and see you for part 2 for remaking this beautiful denim vintage jacket. See you next time.